Jens. He's a veteran campaigner in the UK. Could you tell us how you got involved with Scientology and with the anti-Scientology campaign?
Well, I only ever got involved with the anti-Scientology campaign. I was on discussion groups on Usenet, and the word spread around the discussion groups that there was a strange religion or cult trying to censor the internet. And before we knew it, they had initially tried to just remove the group, send a command on an email or a control message. Someone said, "I'm a lawyer and I want that taken off." And everyone laughed at them. But in no time at all, they had done a raid on an ex-member's property at 9 AM on Sunday. They showed up with armed police, or off-duty but still armed police, searched his house for hours and took his computer away. You can't take someone's computer away.
Yeah,
that's
was
just
that
wrong.
Arnold Lerma?
Sorry?
Was that Arnold Lerma?
It was roughly at the same time, but it was Dennis Ehrlich.
Okay.
Dennis Ehrlich might have come first, but Lerma was raided later.
Yeah.
And from there on, once I became interested in other people, you immediately find something that offends you. Immediately something is obviously not right.
Yeah.
And it's the censorship is not right. The debasement of the members, turning them from ordinary human beings into something that they tell themselves is a superhuman. They really believe that they're the next evolution of the human race, and in reality they're just shadows of what they could be.
Yeah.
Because they're turned, all their realities replaced by the cult. And so I just kept going, doing demos, because first of all, there's nothing to it. It's good fun. There's a lot of nice people, or a few nice people. Our demos would have, say, 5 to 10 people, and they were all really, really good folks, but not a lot. It's not like these demos.
So, what was it like in the early days? What did the cults do to try to shut you up, apart from trying to stop the internet?
Well, they, on the internet, they would try to find the leader and start a lawsuit against them with the purpose of ruining them utterly, not necessarily winning the lawsuit, as per Hubbard's scripture.
Yeah.
When we did demos in orcs where we had not done it before, they would send out all the members who were taking courses at that precise moment, and they would try to intimidate us or try to talk to us. They have the ESA, the local OSA representative, who would try and come out and go, "What's your crimes? What's your crimes?"
Bull baiting.
Yes, bull baiting. But also they'd have just ordinary members trying to waste your time to make sure that you wouldn't talk to ordinary members of the public. But oddly enough, they would stop that. Once you visited an orc, say twice, the third time you showed up, they would just keep everyone on the inside, not come out, no confront. I'd like to think that the members who were sent out to distract us ended up learning far too much about their cult, and so that's why it stopped. Can't know for sure.
Okay.
Protest groups, there really only ever was, well, no, sorry, let's tell a lie. There's 2 protest groups in the UK. There was the Concerned Families and ex-members, and Bonnie and Richard Woods were a focal point for them. They had an organisation, FUS, Families Under Scientology Stress. And then there was the Internet Nerds.
Yeah.
And I was always with the Internet Nerds whenever we were doing something. We tried to form, we had a common cause, so we tried to demo at the same time as FUS. But at one of our demos, a Scientologist turned violent. It was just someone who lost his temper. Not an organised attempt at beating us off or anything. But we had to think hard about how do we respond to violence if it happens again.
Yeah.
It all became too heavy, basically, for the families, for the ex-members, so it became much more an internet nerd thing. Although we continue to have ex-members who were also internet nerds. They're now moved abroad. The one I'm thinking of is Roland. Ashley Berry is best known for his sense of humour, but he's actually a terribly serious young person when he sets his mind to it. We have an ex-member in in Manchester, who I believe has been out with Anonymous. So I was always with the internet freedom of speech activists who just made the point that yes, we are actually allowed to stand up in front of the cult's shop and say it's a cult. It's a right that we have now, and it's a right that the cult would like to take away from us. And they always were disproportionately upset. They would close their front door, even though L. Ron Hubbard states that the door is always open. So they would close it, lock it. They would always, when we went to East Grinstead, they would try to get all the OTs out, because all the critics knew all about CNU and all the terribly secret stuff. So you couldn't have ordinary members out, but they would have some old-timers who were OT5s. Surely they could fix it. And it turned out they couldn't fix it. Time and time again, they couldn't make the coin float. Tried to just levitate a coin. See, it's nothing to it. An OT can do that. No, they couldn't. And again, I think that's one of the occasions where the organization regretted sending out ordinary members, not OSA members. Members of OSA are sort of conditioned to assume that we're psychotic liars, paid for by German pharmacists or German intelligence, and as soon as they find out who's the contact person for German intelligence, they can shut down all the protests in that country. It's going to be great. But so far they've struggled.